Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session. We're going to wait a few minutes for everybody to join. Good evening, everybody. We're waiting a few minutes for everybody to join, okay? Good evening, everybody. We're just waiting a few more minutes. We will start at 03, okay? It's already 6 p.m. So we will just wait 3 more minutes and we will start, okay? Okay, I think we can start. It's already O2, and I think we are enough people. So first of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening, and thank you for joining this channel. Um, we decided to make these events because we're a company that we're working with companies in the US, UK, Europe, Spain. We're seeing a huge demand for automations. We're seeing a huge demand or an increasing demand for um, cloud code. Okay, and so we decided to do these sessions because we wanted, to get people to learn this technology and to understand what's going on in the ecosystem. Okay, so before starting, my name is Vishal. I've been working in automations for a long time already. I think AI has elevated a lot what we can do with automations. I really enjoy automations, and I think there's a lot to be done in the next few years. So hopefully we will learn enough today in order to get our application process sped up. Okay. Before starting, I would like to know where is everybody joining from? Okay, so I'm in Spain. I'm in Canary Islands, and it's not a today is not a very sunny day, to be honest. And I would like to know where you guys joining from to this session. Okay, so if you can share where you joining from in the chat, please. So we have people from India, from Berlin. Where else? So we have 40 people, right? So Berlin, Munich, nice. So there's a huge event of n8n, which is a very important company in the automation area. There's a huge event on the 16th, 15th, or 16th of July in Berlin. So we'll be traveling there. We have Munich, Ireland, lovely, London, great, Paris, Switzerland, Portugal, great places. I need to travel to Switzerland soon. London, lovely, cool, perfect. So before starting, Finland, nice. Amsterdam, okay. So we have people from a lot of places. So thank you for joining. The idea for today is we're gonna explain a little bit about the ecosystem of automations, but we're gonna jump very quickly into how to use automations and cloud ecosystem to speed up your job application processes. Okay. Before starting, I would like to ask you, to be nice and respectful to everybody through the chat. Okay, which almost always everybody is. So good. Second, I would encourage you to ask any questions that you might have through the chat also. Okay, so feel free to ask the questions. I will make my best to answer them. Also, I would just want to give you a heads up. Sometimes these tools, they have errors, they might fail. But I think in general, we're doing a good job in making these sessions smooth, okay, for people to be able to enjoy them, okay? Also, the video will be available after the session. The video gets published in my channel. So if anybody wants to see the video afterward, we have other sessions recorded. So just subscribe to the channel and you will have access to the video, okay? The video is published without the details of the attendees. So it's, we don't put the chat, we don't put the attendees, you just will see the video, okay? Cool. So let's see the agenda for today. So first of all, we're going to see a little bit about how's the automation and AI agent space looking right now, why companies choosing n8n for most of their automations, okay? How are companies using it? That's going to be very quick. I'm going to go fast. And then we're going to start seeing different automations that you can use to speed up your job application process, okay? Rest assured, we will share the materials, okay? So if anybody needs the materials after, you will have the videos, you will have the workflows, you will have anything that you need. I'm happy to share. We will share the links for you to have them at the end, okay? Also, we want to mention that this session is hosted by ResFlow, which is my company. We're an automation as a service company. We provide automation deployments for companies, but we also do trainings, corporate trainings, and bootcamps. Okay, so we're hosting this week the n8n bootcamp and next week the Cloud bootcamp. the Cloud Ecosystem Bootcamp is having a lot of traction because companies are starting to look into how to implement Cloud. So if anybody wants more information, we can stay in touch, okay? Cool, so let's start. What's the automation and AI agent space looking like right now? Super quickly, this is gonna be super quickly, and we're gonna jump hands-on, okay? So first of all, I would say that companies are looking into how to, actually leverage AI and actually make sure that AI has an impact, okay? And so they're starting to focus on automation projects, okay? So companies are coming, they're saying, hey, we have this process, it's taking too long, it's very manual, it's very administrative, we don't want to spend more time on it, let's automate this, okay? And the tool that they're usually choosing is n8n, okay? So n8n is being the go-to tool, and we will explain very quickly why, for simple automations, okay? For anything that's related to AI agents, also companies will choose n8n when the agent is a chatbot, okay? So n8n does a really good job with chatbots, but when we're using, advanced reasoning, or we need, let's say, a very specific usage of an agent, I would say that Claude is actually picking up quite quickly, okay? When we're talking about an automation, we usually refer to any task that is repetitive, that it has a sequence execution, and that is deterministic. For instance, if I want to process 1,000 invoices, I'm not going to use an agent. I might use an automation. Whereas if I need, let's say, an automation that's actually making decisions, that's not repetitive, that will define and decide which tools to use autonomously, then I will use an agent, okay? The go-to tools, in my opinion, n8n and Cloud, okay? Because companies are working with these two. Do we have other tools? Yes, okay? So we have UiPath, which is very relevant. We have, sometimes companies want to explore the Microsoft suite, but just because they're binded, by this suite, now they're realizing that if they want power, if they want reasoning, if they want to do more stuff, they have to be eager to leave their comfort zone in terms of the Microsoft suite, okay? For some reason, they think that being in the Microsoft suite is protecting them for all the data issues that they might have, all the data protection. That's not true. OpenAI is secure, n8n is secure, and Cloud is getting more and more secure, okay? Cool. So why are companies using n8n? Super quickly, usually it's due to privacy. n8n can be implemented in your ecosystem, in your server, in your AWS, in your Google Cloud. So you can define and decide where to implement n8n, where to download and install n8n, and we will actually make a session for that in, I think, next week. We will do a session, no, I think tomorrow. We will do a session to learn how to set up n8n and use it for free, okay? Also, due to the ability of n8n to connect with almost any tool in the ecosystem of the company, so n8n connects really well with, Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, HubSpot, Apollo, any tool that you can imagine, n8n will have some option to connect with that tool, okay? Almost, okay? Also, n8n allows you to be as simple as you want if you're not an advanced user, or as it can get as complex as you might need if you are a person that needs n8n for complex stuff, okay? And finally, I would say customization, but also cost, okay? Most of the tools that companies are having issues with or they're trying to leave are usually because either they're not using 100% of its capabilities, or the cost has scaled substantially in the last few years. So these companies like n8n because usually if you implement n8n in your own infrastructure, the cost is zero, okay? You might be paying the AI, you might be paying Salesforce, whatever, but n8n will be free, okay? Cool. So let's start with what's important for this session, which is job applications, okay? What are we going to do today? We're going to see in different parts of the job application process. I'm going to see how n8n and Cloud can help us in these areas of the application process, okay? So usually when I see the application process, I imagine first searching for jobs, Second, extracting the information from jobs and tailoring the resume. And third, applying to these jobs. Today, we're going to focus on the first two sections, okay? So searching for these jobs and then apply and generating the resume tailored to this job description, okay? So what I saw is that I was spending a lot, last year, today, now I'm not looking for a job, but last year, I was spending a lot of time in different websites looking for jobs, okay? I was looking for a product manager job. And so what I would do is I would go to maybe EU Remote Jobs, then I would go to We Work Remotely, then I would go to LinkedIn, okay? So I would be, one by one, going to each of these search engines and then just putting, product manager. So this would take me some time, okay? What happens is that with n8n, okay, you can actually develop a workflow, and we will explain how this workflow works, where you're actually gonna go to each of these sources, okay, extract the jobs that are related to what you're looking for, and then transpose all these jobs into this Google Sheet, where you will have all the information that you need, okay? So how do I do this? Let's do an example, okay? So here we have Remotive, and what basically I did is I went to Remotive, I looked for a product manager, okay? And you can actually subscribe to the RSS feed of Remotive, okay? So if I go here, Remotive allows us to define where is the RSS feed that you want to subscribe to, okay? So I choose this one. This link, this URL, I can add it here in my n8n. This is a node that will fetch an RSS feed, and I can run it, okay? And it will get me all the jobs related to product that have been published recently. Then what I can do is filter these jobs to get the latest jobs. Maybe here we have the latest jobs in the last 20 days, but I could easily do every day, okay? And then just run this workflow every day, or I could do every month. So you can choose how you want to do it. Ideally, what you want to do is filter the jobs for the last 24 hours and just run this every day, so you can get all the jobs in the past 24 hours, okay? Then we're going to use an OpenAI model, which is, so this node, it's connecting n8n to OpenAI, and it's going to extract the relevant details of the job, okay? So it's going to process this with a 4.1 nano model, which is a very cheap model. It's a very efficient model. It's just focused on data extraction. One second, it's running. Okay, so here we have the information. And finally, what I can do is I can transpose this information into my Google Sheet. So if I open this, we have put these 5 jobs here, okay? The same system is being used for this URL, okay? So here we have EU Remote Jobs, EU Remote Jobs, okay? So this one is connected to EU Remote Jobs, and if I run it, ideally it's gonna have a similar structure, where basically what's gonna do is it's gonna fetch from this URL the jobs that are available related to product management. Then we're gonna filter them, and AI is gonna extract the relevant details, okay? Probably here we have either a cleaner or a filter. Let's see, probably it's a cleaner. I think it's probably cleaning the job description, so the job title. And then what's gonna happen is that it's gonna transpose the details of the job here, and we're gonna have the links here. So if you replicate this for different pages, you can actually, automate having all your jobs in one Google Sheet, and then just having to filter by remote, the company, and then you can just go and open the job description. So let's do this one also. No, this one is not connected. Sorry, let's do this one. So this one is this one is from Jobicy. Okay, here basically we added the keywords, and then we're just filtering it. And what's going to happen ideally is we're going to see a few jobs appear here. Let's see. It's taking a little bit. Okay, 1 second. I think it's just several items, so it's processing 16 jobs. So it probably will take a little bit. Okay, let's see. Yes, so basically so there's a question. I'm going to answer this question. Are all the sheets connected into one? Yes, so basically we have different workflows connected to the same Google Sheet. Okay, what I'm doing is basically, even if this part are different websites and different methods, then the final sheet is the same. Okay. Okay, here we have the jobs from Jobicy. Okay, and we can go on and forth. Okay, so maybe here we have Jobspresso. In this case, Jobspresso, we don't need to do any parsing. And so basically what I will do is fetch the jobs and we will see it here. Okay, and you can filter. Okay, so you can define how to filter them. So imagine you say, hey, Vishal, I don't know how to do this. Well, we're going to share the workflow, okay? But imagine you say, hey, I have no idea how to develop this, okay? So I'm going to explain to you very quickly how we have developed it and even do an example, okay? So here, basically, we always follow the same system. The first is a trigger, okay? So if I do like this, I'm putting a trigger. This will allow me to run this every day, every night, every morning, every day at 8 a.m. So we can choose when to run it. Okay. The second thing that we're going to use is either an RSS feed, which is basically a node that will go to the feed of this website where they might have the job listings published. Or what we might be able to use also is an HTTP request, which basically makes a call to that URL and fetches all the content from that URL. Okay. So imagine we start with the RSS feed. Okay. Here we're going to choose the URL of the RSS feed. So here we go to We Work Remotely. Let's maybe EU Remote Jobs. Let's see if they have a feed. So let's see. Remotive. So Remotive has a feed. It's very easy to fetch, but here you can actually choose the feed that you want to focus on, maybe artificial intelligence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the feed here, and what's going to happen is that it's going to extract the details of this sheet. Okay. After that, we can actually add a JavaScript code. Okay. What is this code for what do we use this? Either for additional filtering. So imagine we're getting jobs here that have more than 2 days, and maybe you want to filter it before using AI, because we get charged for this. We get charged very little, but we get charged for this. Okay. I could run it 100 times per day and I wouldn't spend more than 30 cents, but still sometimes you want to be efficient and sometimes you want to filter jobs for additional dates. Okay. So here, what you might be willing to use is a JavaScript. Okay. So I can do like this. I might not know JavaScript, but what I can do is I can copy the request and I can say, hey, prepare me a JavaScript code that will filter this JSON coming from the previous node in n8n by the date, last 2 days. Okay, so if I actually ask ChatGPT to give me the JavaScript, ChatGPT can help me. Okay, I'm not an expert in JavaScript, and I was able to do it. It's not that very complex. So ideally, so here we see that we don't have jobs from the last 2 days, but if we put 20, maybe we have one from the 19th of May. What about the duplicates? If the same job is found in different websites, does the automation consider this? I think I don't right now. In this case, I just wanted to get, so it depends. Sometimes if you start getting a lot of duplicates, you might want to implement something to remove it. But actually, that's very easy. And n8n has something which is the remove duplicates node, which is specifically for that. Okay. In my case, I might have one or two that are duplicated. I don't care. I just wanted to go fast and get all my jobs into one sheet. Okay. I just wanted to save the time of going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Sometimes when you are doing something, some people are super perfectionist. I just want to move forward fast and be efficient. Okay. If I had a lot of duplicates, so if I started seeing that I'm getting a lot of duplicates from different URLs, I might implement that. But for now, it wasn't a priority for me. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is so another option. Okay, is here we're fetching the information from the URLs. Okay, but sometimes there's applications that will allow me to go to places like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, which are usually profoundly anti-robot, and you cannot use this technique to get jobs from these places. Okay. Before moving on, I'm gonna answer a few questions. 1 second. Yes. So somebody saying, I think he's using a cleaner. Yes, I use cleaners to clean the data before sending it to OpenAI, because you're not going to send everything from the RSS feed. Okay. Sometimes the RSS feed gives you jobs from 1 month ago. Why would you send those to the AI and get charged to processing those jobs? So sometimes this node will act as a cleaner. Sometimes this node will act as a filter, just product management jobs from the last 5 days. So this node will be an intermediary between all the things that the website is recovering, so everything that I'm fetching from the website, and what I actually want to send to the AI. Because if I were to send 100 jobs, I would probably be spending more money in processing these tokens. Okay, OpenAI will charge you per token. So usually we want to be efficient and say, okay, maybe there was jobs from 1 month ago. I don't want the AI processing those jobs. I just want maybe the last 24 hours. Okay. Somebody's saying, however, so I'm learning, yes, however, we can send notifications ourselves from each platform. Yes, but so the thing with notifications is that 1, you have to go to each platform. 2, I think you get in the same week several notifications from different, sometimes you will get 5 times the same job in LinkedIn. So sometimes I'll be notified 5 times for the same job. Okay, it's over. And also, when you see, for me, seeing the jobs in this way, first, I am able to get them from a lot of way more sources. So I'm able to see a lot of sources, way more than what, going tool by tool and activating the notifications, which, by the way, is very annoying to my email and it introduces a lot of noise. And here, I can actually filter them. And, you can modify this to get more information. Okay. So you could actually include additional nodes to get information from Glassdoor and actually have the scoring of the company, potential salary, if it's remote or not. In my opinion, receiving 20 emails from different sources, I don't think that's the best way to search for a job. At least for me, it was annoying. So, this is an option. There's a lot of options. Okay. But ideally, what we want to do with this is get all the sources. Jobicy, we work remotely, EU Remote Jobs, Glassdoor, LinkedIn. So there's so many sources, and consolidate them one place where you can actually play very quickly and make decisions very quickly on what you want to apply to. Okay, let's see another type of of web search. Okay, so in this case, what we're using is RapidAPI. Okay, so why do I like RapidAPI? RapidAPI, okay, is let's say it's a platform that allows you to connect to specific APIs that have probably been able to scrape the information from different websites. Okay, and so what these tools will do is they will go into maybe LinkedIn, Glassdoor, get that information and provide them to you in a structured manner. So this is very useful when you actually want to get information and not put in jeopardy your account. Okay, because using your account might put you in jeopardy. Okay, so if we go here, what we can do is we can actually go to jobs and we will see all the tools that can actually you can get, here we have Glassdoor real-time jobs. Okay, we have Indeed job posts. We have a lot of sources from which we can get jobs in a structured manner. If we go here, we can actually subscribe to this API and we can actually see the different ways in we can search for a job. Okay, and we can subscribe to this application. Okay, to subscribe, what's going to happen is that, so if I go here, hopefully I will see, they will tell me what I can use, and usually using the free version, you're going to be able to do plenty. Okay, so there's no need to pay. Actually, in my case, I don't even have my credentials, sorry, my credit card in my account, so that they can never charge me. And usually what's going to happen is that they're going to limit you. Hey, you can do 15 requests per month. You can get 1,000 jobs per month. But usually it's enough. Okay, so you can subscribe to several applications, and so that way you can use them in order to to circumvent the limits. Okay, what would happen is that these applications would explain me how to get the information through n8n. Okay, so what will happen is basically we can say, hey, we're going to look for product manager. Okay, this is the type of job we're looking. Then the location ID can be retrieved from LinkedIn, okay, or from Glassdoor in this case. Then we can sort them by this date description, okay, and maybe we can test. Maybe we can put the limits, because if we don't put a limit, we're gonna maybe consume our limits very quickly. Let's see if I can actually limit it. Limits. Let's do true, and this will limit it quite a lot. And maybe here we can put seniority. We're going to put mid-senior level. Okay, let's test this. So here we have different jobs. Okay. Oops. Here we have different jobs. And then with these details, we can actually, so if we go to the ID and we go to job details and we just put the parameters, the listing ID. So ideally, we should get the information from the job. Okay. There's probably here an error. Maybe it's this. I don't know why is this here. Search. Query string. Results. So this one is giving an error. In my case, I have it connected, I think, to remote jobs, which is this one. Okay, so if I go here, discovery, jobs, remote jobs. So what's happening is probably I'm connected to this one. And what I will do is I will set the parameters here. And then according to that, I will just configure these parameters here. Okay. If I run it, hopefully this is still activated. It's been a while since I haven't used it. I will get the jobs from this source. Okay. And so you can do this, you can replicate this behavior with a lot of APIs. So if I go here and I go to jobs, we have JSearch, Active Jobs, LinkedIn Shop, Glassdoor, Indeed. So there's a lot of sources which would help you increase significantly the jobs do you want to get. Okay. If you get a lot of duplicates, you know, this is free. So up till here, it would be free. You could actually, you know, use remove duplicates to handle that. Okay. Let me answer a few questions. I want to move forward to the actual resume generation part, which I think is going to be super interesting. So let me answer a few questions and we will continue. Definitely, this is great. Just trying to understand as a user. I get this is difficult, but we're going to share the materials. We're going to share the video. And also, we will explain people if they want to do it from themselves, how to do it, or if they want to, you know, they want to have a session or something, or they want to learn how to set it up. We have some instructions. Okay. Also, we do boot camps for, you know, to work with n8n. So if anybody is interested, we can discuss. Okay. What I recommend is if you want, you can add me on LinkedIn and we can stay connected. Okay. Somebody's asking, what subscriptions would I need if I adapt your workflow? I can see n8n, Claude, ChatGPT, RapidAPI is free. Good question. Usually you will need n8n, but you can set it up locally for free. OpenAI, in which you will need to use, is not the ChatGPT account, is the OpenAI platform where you charge it and it will consume tokens. But you know that if you choose the right model, it can be very cheap. Okay, don't go to the most expensive model because here you're doing an extraction. So to extract, you don't need the latest model. What I mean here is that if I go compare models, OpenAI. So if I go here and I compare models and I go and I'm using this one, 4.1 Nano, 5.5 Pro. 5.5 Pro is very advanced on reasoning. Nano has very low intelligence and a lot of speed. When I'm extracting data, I don't need intelligence. I need speed, efficiency, and non-hallucination. And this one is 10, 20, 30 times cheaper than the other one. So it's very important to choose the right model. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, so n8n can be zero. OpenAI can be, you know, I spend $1, $2, $3, $5 per month, but no, not more than $5 per month. And then RapidAPI. So RapidAPI is free. What you end up paying is the subscription for each of these applications. So whenever you're subscribing to the application, you will need to choose a subscription. But what's important to know is that most of them will allow you to use a free one. And these ones usually have a decent limit. So some of them, they will say you can use it for free up to 1,000 jobs per month. You can use it for free up to 15 requests per month. Sometimes it's more than enough, especially if you can actually choose several. So I can actually choose several of these. I can actually choose several of these job APIs. So each one has their own subscription, and so you can subscribe to the free tier of all of them, and you will have more than enough jobs. So you in terms of having jobs, you're going to have a lot. Now the question is how to actually manage them, how to actually apply to them. Okay. So let's move to the next part, which in my opinion is the most interesting part, which is creating a resume that is adapted to these job descriptions. Okay. So we've created a resume generation, okay, workflow that basically what's going to happen is that I can put the job description. So imagine, I have too many things open. I'm just going to close a few things for simplicity, okay? So basically what I'm going to do, imagine I have my here, n8n, okay? So here we have a simple list of jobs, okay? Imagine I go here to Plum, okay? So this is a group manager, and here we have the job description. I can actually copy the job description, and I can here put the job description in the chat. And this workflow, basically what's going to do is going to fetch all my experience, my company's experience, my achievements, my education, all the details that I have provided. Then it's going to use an OpenAI node, which I'm going to explain to him what do I want, which is a Harvard formatted resume with all the information of the job description, okay? And then what's going to do, it's going to go to this folder and it's going to create a folder with a tailored resume and with the job description so that I don't forget when I'm called to an interview, okay? So if you see, it's created a new folder called Plum, which is exactly the name of the company, okay? And if I go inside this folder, we're going to see how ideally, let's see if this is finished. It's finished. I'm going to have here a resume tailored to this job description, okay? And the actual job description. Why am I keeping the job description? Because before, what I would do is I would do the resume, and then if the job description goes offline and I get an interview, I would forget about the job description. So usually when you want to prepare it, you want to make sure that you also have the job description. So ideally, what's going to happen is that if we download this and if we download this, okay, and maybe we ask ChatGPT to tell me if this, if this is a good match, hopefully we will get over 85%, hopefully. Please review the resume versus the job description as an ATS to see the match in percentage between both. Let's see how it does it. Sometimes I'm falling a little bit at, well, here it's nice, 99, 92%, interesting. Okay, so this workflow will help me in speeding up, in generating my resumes with the keywords of the job description, but being truthful to my experience and my knowledge. Okay, so how does this work? So first, we actually focus on making sure that we have the data of our, let's say my companies, my achievements. So I have all the data in this workflow. Okay, so maybe we can get all my experience. Okay, and then what I do, I also have my education, my achievements. Okay, and then here I will say, hey, we need to prepare the resume. I will explain what steps does it need to follow, what does it need to make sure, and the format that it needs to keep, which is usually a Harvard format. Okay, usually we're applying to American companies, which in Spain they pay better. So that's why we use the Harvard format, because we know they enjoy that format. Okay, and then we will follow a whole process in which it will connect to Google Drive, generate the resume, generate the job description, okay, and have the resume in the format. Okay. Somebody's asking how much of the resume is tailored to the job description, hallucination versus. So in general, you need to be very strict. So somebody's asking if how much of a reliable adaptation there is, and how much does it hallucinate. I would say Cloud was hallucinating a lot in the past. I think I've make it become a little bit more efficient. OpenAI hallucinates less, in my opinion. Before it would do it a lot, but with OpenAI, I have asked it to keep it very realistic. And I want to make sure that we're not actually lying, okay? Or if we're not exaggerating extremely, okay? Because in the US, it might be good to, to sell yourself well, but actually in Spain, if I overpromise and then in the interview I fall short, this is going to be ineffective. So I think in you probably some of you will be in the same situation as me. You want to keep it balanced, and you want to make sure that you add specific rules and guardrails in the prompt to make sure that you're not overselling you or over adapting your resume to those keywords. Okay. How do you do that? You can do it several ways. You can actually modify the prompt, or you can actually add. So actually, n8n allows you to add guardrails in each part of the process. Okay, but these are very good questions. So these are very good questions. So in this case, we're putting the job description in the chat, but we have another case. Oops, sorry, a second. We have another case in which we have already prepared a workflow that will basically get the job description from the sheet. Okay, so I don't need to be putting the information in the chat. So here we have a case, we have IG group, and what we can do is basically just run it, and this workflow will basically get all the jobs from this sheet that have not been processed, or here they find no, and it will start creating everything for me. So I don't need to put manually all the job descriptions. Okay, so let's leave it a few minutes, and we will see how we will see a new folder appear and a new resume appear, and then we will see how this is set to yes. Okay. Let's leave it. Let's leave it a few. Let's see if it's working. It's running. Okay, it's running. Yep. I don't know if there's any questions. So, okay, no questions. Cool. Let's see another example, which now it's a little bit more easy to set up, which is by using cloud skills. Okay. So I wanted to actually show you how we're also able to do this through cloud skills without a single line of code. Okay. So here, okay, so this is, it's updated this, and if hopefully here now it will process the Amazon one. Okay, so here we would see Amazon. Okay, so we can have it running there automatically, and it's okay. Cool. So we've seen how to do with n8n. I would like to see now how to work with cloud. Okay, so cloud, I don't know who has already tried cloud cowork and cloud skills. Can I get some people in the chat telling me, who has tried cloud cowork, cloud skills? Okay, I just want to test the waters a little bit. Okay. So okay, so what we have done here, okay, cloud cowork and cloud skills are going to help me a lot in doing stuff with my computer and accelerating everything everything related to this job resume generation. Okay, so cloud skills is a new feature from cloud that allows me to do one task in a very efficient manner. Okay, and these cloud skills can allow me to set up how cloud needs to do this task. So we can basically set up how it needs to proceed, what information it needs to fetch, how it needs to use the files, which templates does it need to use. I have uploaded several Harvard resume templates. Okay, how to set up the resume in the correct way. So it's basically, you're going to spend some time in specifying how to do this correctly. So you need to be very precise, because it's going to be able to do one task really well, and a task that might be more complex than just replying. Okay. And so in this skill, you can always add all the references, which is all my achievements, all my companies, all my education, all my experience. Okay. And we can also add the template. Okay, which template to use. What I can do then is basically I can call the skill. So I can say Harvard resume, Harvard style. Okay, I can simply go and fetch the job description. So let's get this one from Hopper. Okay, and then I can just do like this, paste the job description, call the skill, and Claude already knows what it has to do. And basically the skill will say, I will get the job description, I will look into Vishal's achievements, experience, companies, education, and then I will follow the format that we have specified, and I will stick to this format to make sure that I create a resume that is ATS friendly for Vishal to download and use. Okay, so we will allow it to run. Let's see if we have our resume, and then we will actually compare the resume to the job description to see what is the match percentage. Okay. So somebody's saying that the video was stuck. No, I think I don't know if anybody's having an issue seeing the video. Hopefully not. Okay, so my video is working. Okay, so it's gonna take a little bit, but hopefully we will see a resume. Okay, so we see that it's already generating a resume, and hopefully we will get a PDF. Okay. When we get the PDF, I will download the PDF and we will see with ChatGPT how does it match together. Okay. Let's see. It's taking a bit longer than what I expected. Presenting file. Okay. So here we have the resume in the Harvard format, 2 pages. Nice. It's being very consistent with the format, and I can actually download it. So I can actually, so if you see my screen, I can actually, put it in my downloads folder. I'm just gonna paste it here. Okay, and we can get the job description, and I go to ChatGPT. Please now do the same with these two. Okay, so I will get the job description of Hopper, and I will get my resume. I hope it doesn't mix the previous one. Hopefully it won't, but let's see. Here we have 82, 86%, a little bit low in my opinion. Usually I'm getting more than 87, but it's still something that we can work with. Cloud Skills will do a very good job in helping you do this without learning n8n. If n8n feels a little bit more complicated, I think the cloud ecosystem is working really well. Okay. Somebody's saying, okay, so I'm going to answer questions because we're running out of time and I have a hard stop at 7 p.m. So somebody's asking, do you think that companies will be looking to hire automation experts? Yes. So we have a lot of demand. So in the mornings I do corporate, and in the evenings I do B2C. And in the morning we have a lot of demand. I think companies are just figuring out how they can make the most ROI, and they're focusing too much on the technology and very little on execution and these projects being handled correctly. And also you need to do some corporate training in how to make sure that these projects are handled correctly, how to make sure that you add guardrails, that you don't, forget that you still need humans in some parts of the process. Okay. Are recruiters to identify this as an AI automated generated version? I don't know. To be fairly honest, when I used it so I was using n8n to do this last year, and I got the interviews. I think I didn't prepare these interviews very well because I was fed up of companies, so I wanted to set up my own company. But the interviews, I got them. Okay, so maybe I was getting from 30 resumes, I was getting 5 interviews. Okay, I don't think that matters because even HR teams are using AI. Okay, so everybody's using it. Who cares? Okay. In fact, if in my opinion, if somebody's not using AI, I wouldn't hire that person. Okay. I just want them to use it in the right manner, not just for the sake of using it without double checking. Okay. Sometimes it's more a matter of being reliable and double checking more than using it or not using it. Okay. So I'm running out of time, and I want to thank you everybody for joining. So we will do more sessions tomorrow. I think we're doing one on how to set up. I think it's how to set up n8n and use it for free forever. So if anybody wants to join, feel free. I also am going to share, how to get the materials of the presentation. You can see the video in my YouTube channel. I would encourage you to subscribe so that you can see the video. And, I want to wish you a good evening. I want to let you know that I'm available on LinkedIn, on YouTube. If you have any questions, you can reach out. We're going to share a few links so that we can stay in touch. So we're going to share the link to join the school community. We're going to share the link to join our next cohorts, okay? And I'm going to share the link to get the workflows for the job applications. I'm just going to share it. 1 second. Apologies. Here they are, okay? Oops. School, 1 second. I'm just going to share again this link. Here we have it, okay? So if anybody needs the workflows, you can go to the Google Forms that I have shared, and I will share them with you, okay? So thanks a lot for joining. I hope that you can, subscribe to our channel. I hope that you can leave us a good review on Meetup, and I hope to see you soon. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks a lot.